Hello everyone, and welcome to another Serie fantasy video. This is the review of Game Week 2. So we got 2 game weeks done now in Serie. And I'm just going to go over a little bit about the games, so how my team did, what the table's looking like, and then we'll move on from there. Um, it was honestly a pretty boring-ish game week just because there were so many teams that didn't score. 12 teams didn't score in this. So that's a lot of teams, I guess, just not scoring. Not a lot of goals, not a lot of points to go around unless it was through your defense, obviously. And so that makes not too much to talk about. Very first day of the game week on Saturday, both of the earlier games between Torino and Lazio and Udinese and Salernitana, both uh, games that ended 0-0. So that was good in the sense that like Immobile and Milinkovic-Savic, who I don't have, didn't get any points. Singo, Deulofeu didn't get anything. So a lot of players that have been getting points I didn't own didn't get more points, which is good. But if you owned anyone from the defense or keepers, you were pretty happy about that at the end of the day. In addition, Lukaku only got the assist on an amazing goal by Lautaro Martinez. I feel like a lot of people that have one of the or one of the Inter strikers have chosen Lukaku as he's not that much more expensive than Lautaro Martinez. But if you have Lautaro, that was a great pick and absolutely destroyed it there in the bottom corner. The other two goals weren't as high profile players on Inter Milan. We had Çalhanoğlu get one, and then I believe Correa got one assisted by Dzeko, and most people are not going to have either of those players because that's like a third and fourth choice behind Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, as it seems. So not too bad as a non-owner of some of the big hitters in the league from day one. Unfortunately, Sassuolo did get the 1-0 win against Lecce, which meant Falcone didn't get the clean sheet. And we'll see later as Vicario did. So unfortunately, I started the wrong keeper. That's the only issue with having two playing keepers is unfortunately sometimes you need to make the choice and often I don't know if I'd say oftentimes, but a lot of the times it could be the wrong one. Um, but that is a game that I want to bring up. I did say as part of the team selection video, Berardi is one to look out for right now with the Swallows fixtures. Despite being on such a weak team right now, if something is happening, it's going through Berardi. He is an expensive player to have in your team, so if you have the funds, you can do it. And I would not say that's a bad pick at all. And of course, after the run of fixtures is done, you could move those funds elsewhere. Um, but yeah, definitely someone to keep an eye out for. When we moved into the Saturday games, I unfortunately sat a lot of points in Vicario and Ishmaeli on the bench because Empoli did keep a clean sheet against Fiorentina in another 0-0 fixture. So Jovic didn't give me any points. Bajrami only got me the extra clean sheet point there. And so that was kind of an annoying game because I sat the big point getters in that game and I left on the ones that weren't going to do so well. I was really tempted, obviously, when you're thinking between the two sides, I'd say Fiorentina is a better side than Sassuolo, which is why I started Falcone in net. But with that midweek game that Fiorentina had, no one else in the league had, I was planning on taking that into consideration and saying Fiorentina might be a little tired for this game. I ended up assuming that they would score at least one, and I was wrong, and so I kind of paid for it there. But during that same time came the really fun game, the Napoli fixture, the 4-0 win over Monza, where that is where the majority of my points came from. Late before the deadline, I did decide to bring in I believe now I'm going to go with oh no, we'll just stick with Krava for now. Um, but he ended up getting 2 goals, 2 amazing goals, and Osimhen got one. Oh my gosh, what goals there were in this game for Napoli. And if we remember, if you've been watching this since last year, you'll know that Osimhen, Insigne, and Mario Rui were my major point getters for a lot of the season. Well, it's going to be the Napoli boys again. Lozano didn't really contribute. He gets the one extra clean sheet point. Fine. He got an assist last week, so it looks like all three of them are kind of clicking right now. Um, am interested in how this lineup is going to be with Raspadori. I can't really imagine he's someone that's being wanted to be brought in as just a permanent bench position as a sub all the time, but we'll see. But that was a great game. Very happy I made that transfer for an 18-pointer there. The only unfortunate thing is I didn't captain, but now I can at least see him as a very viable captain option going forward. When it came to Atalanta and Milan, Hernandez didn't really have a great game. Atalanta scored relatively early. It was Malinovsky that scored. So that was the only annoying thing as I transferred out a goal scorer. But at the end of the day, it's the right decision. Krava gets 2, Malinovsky only gets 1. And if the transfer deadline goes by without Malinovsky getting transferred out and he's still playing, he might be someone I'm going to be looking to bring back in at some point. Dear Hernandez, I believe, also picked up a yellow card later in the game, which was annoying. But so many people have him. Generally, his points aren't going to be super impactful for rank. Bologna and Hellas Verona, Arnautovic scores so much. He is, I think, a really underrated attacker for only 7 million. He's someone that I'd probably consider switching out, like with Jovic and stuff like that. So someone to keep an eye on as well. We had Roma and Cremonese. I tweeted this out. It's like, how has Roma not scored already 20 goals this season? Two 1-0 wins, where they should be having so many goals. And I captained Dybala. 6 points ain't great for a captaincy, but I'll take it. I guess getting that double up or that bonus point also to double whatever. But out of my 3 Roma players, it's Chris Smalling that scored the goal so far out of them, which is just absurd. So that is a very good kind of differential pick that I've had that not a lot of people have him. A lot of people have gone for Spinazzola or Karsdorp when it comes to the Roma defense. Not a lot have Chris Smalling, I don't think. So that was a nice little differential goal, and defender goals are big. Also gets the 3 bonus points for me, so that was awesome. But geez, Abraham and Dybala, I will see how long I stick by them. But yeah, and then Cremonese actually came pretty close to tying up the game a couple times, but wasn't able to do that. And then Juve can't beat Sampdoria. This is why they couldn't contend for the title last year, just dropping points to silly teams. And Juve did put the ball in the back of the net once, got called back offside correctly, obviously. But yeah, that was just tough to see that end as a 0-0 fixture as well. Fantasy-wise is good for me, aside from those that have Perrine and the defense. Bremer seems to be a good option right now. But yeah, that was just a tough one. So that's kind of how my team went overall. We also had players that didn't talk about. Skriniar got the clean sheet there, which was good. Everyone else I think I touched on here. I end up with 66 points in the week, though. It was a good week for me overall. Between Krava and Smalling, picking up those big hauls, and then a couple little sprinkles here and there with clean sheet points from Skriniar, Osimhen getting the goal and stuff. I had a better week, I'd say, than most. I was above the average, and I went up. Basically, I was in 3.5K overall. Now I'm in like 1.5K area. So I went up about 2,000 spots, which was nice. Hoping that trend continues. There's the bench. Serie hasn't been playing, so if I have a luxury transfer to make another time, I can upgrade him, but I don't really care. I haven't used, or no one subbed in 2 weeks for me yet. So interesting here. If anyone wants to let me know what's up with Jim City, did he get a yellow card and suspended? I didn't really pay too close attention to it. Is he injured? So that'd be good to know because he has been starting. So that's something I'm going to be looking out for because he has been my go-to bench option right now, and I was going to be probably starting to play him now that the Milan fixture's done. So that's something that I want to get into and take a look at. If you know, drop it in the comments. I'd appreciate that. We'll quickly go over to the league and see where we are at. So, Team Napolitano is up and tied in first with Roma 23. So, great job to both of you. Clearly on the back of 2 great weeks in a row on 152 points. And we obviously have a tight title race right now. Team at 148, 147. So, the whole first page is going to be pretty tight. And obviously, don't give up if you're not near the top right now. There is so long to go. One thing that's been brought to my attention, and I am sorry if this applies to you. Some people have had 2 really good weeks, and it's not kind of showing based on the fixtures. or based on the table, and that's because as of right now, and I haven't don't have it set to this, so I don't realize why, but people that have joined after the first week, you're only getting points based on when you've joined the league. And there's a setting to turn that off, but I never turned that on in the first place, so I don't really know how to fix it. So here we have Dama, who's had two really good weeks, 57 game week 1 and game week 2, 98, who should actually be at the top of the league right now. So good on you, but unfortunately, that's not going to be able to be reflected right now because they joined game week 2 rather than game week 1. And just so people know that I'm not pulling anyone's leg, I don't have this checked off. And this is if checked, all teams will have an initial score of 0 points. Otherwise, the score of the late registered teams will be equal to the sum of the points scored in the unplayed game week. So for me, the starting score of each team is 0. So for me, if I check that off, new people coming in should start at 0. I kind of want it where you have your points accumulated throughout the whole season. So I don't think it's supposed to be checked off, but it's acting like that without it being checked off. So if any of you know how to fix that, please let me know. But yeah, so I'm sorry if you've joined late and your actual rank should be reflected higher. I don't really know how to change it from here because I know that this is the only place I know to change that, and I think it's what I want, and it's just not reflecting that right now. But yeah, other than that, that's where our team ranks. My overall is just inside the top 1500 at 1486, which is much better than where it was before. And yeah, that's where we are this week. I might try to do one bonus video throughout the week, and then we'll get into team selection ahead of next week. There's nothing really happening as far as Serie A teams this week, aside from another Fiorentina Conference League game on the 25th. So something to watch out for if you own some of their players. Other than that, I look forward to, I believe it is next Saturday again that we're going to be starting up. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to these videos. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope your team's doing well. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Was this a better week, worse week than last time, and any questions you may have. If I got enough questions, I can probably try to make a video to answer some of them. Anyway, take care, have a good day, and I will see you next time.